Today's topic, trapped by the algorithm. This episode of Awkward Anthems is brought to you by Vanity metrics. Those sneaky numbers that look like gold medals but might be masking a far more pernicious truth, that not all that glitters is gold. What is the one rule we do not break as YouTubers? Don't feed the trolls. Subscribe today, and we'll throw in snarky comments from bell peppers LARPing as Carolina Reapers for free. Stick around, it's about to get spicy. A little over a year ago, I made a video about my experience editing for a very successful YouTube channel. Not this one, this one. The follow-up video, sponsored by Emotional Roller Coasters, did not relaunch me into outer space, but it did provide an opportunity to explore and re-examine my own personal definition of success. Is success merely a measure of how much the world at large follows and likes and shares? Is it a sharp vertical line on a graph? And how much of this is really within my control? I've grappled with all of these questions in the aftermath of making a thing that did really well. Ultimately, when the dust settled and the growth of my channel stalled, I concluded with a great deal of confusion and discouragement that maybe merit didn't count for much in my situation. Maybe I just got lucky. I just had the great fortune of hitting that sweet spot where preparation meets opportunity, with the added bonus of knowing someone with massive reach who was generous enough to hand me the endorsement that instantly put me on the radar of an audience that, ironically, I already knew, and who kind of knew me too, because every editor has their own voice and personality and style that they bring to their work. And the same is true for writers and a lot of the people working behind the scenes of your favorite YouTube channels. And so when the universe winked at me and something finally landed, but it was on my channel with my face and my brand, I could feel this charge in the air, like a seed that had been planted and watered and carefully nurtured for years prior was finally taking root. It was like I burst through the soil and was like, hello world. But it wasn't all rainbows and sunshine. When you sign up on a public platform like this, you sign up for the good and the bad and the broken and the weird and occasionally the really weird. But good or bad, it's the risk that I chose to take when I left my job and then made a video about what I learned at that job and then went viral for doing so. And when I reflect on that experience, I've come to understand that for most of my professional life, the best of what I've had to offer creatively has mostly been in service to a vision or a dream that was not my own.
Overruled!
Sidebar.
Guilty!
Speculation.
Hearsay!
Bailiff.
Arrest.
We could totally be lawyers.
And when I go a couple layers deeper and really examine that, there's an uncomfortable truth that's emerged. And the truth is that standing in the shadows of greatness has always been the safe play for me, because I play small. Out of fear of criticism, out of fear of failing, out of fear of succeeding, and not being able to sustain all the responsibility that might come with that. When nobody knows you, your name, your face, your vulnerabilities, your contribution, nothing can really hurt you, at least online. And for many years, that cloak of invisibility felt like freedom, but the end product and any success that followed was never really mine to claim. I wanted something to call my own. So when I decided to stop playing it safe and step in front of the camera and fly away from that proverbial nest and leave everything that was cozy and stable and safe behind, I knew that would carry a ton of risk. But I was either going to take that gamble at 37 years old, or I was just going to have to make peace with a future in which I was okay with clipping my own wings. So many bird analogies right now. Wow.
I want to be a comedy writer when I grow up.
But here's the strange irony about that. The generous endorsement that gifted me that viral video and put me on the map had the unintended consequence of trapping me into a specific type of content for a specific type of audience I didn't plan on building my channel around. See, the genesis of the idea for my channel, Awkward Anthems, was to follow in the footsteps of artists like Weird Al. Weird Al Yankovic was my childhood. I wanted to merge musical comedy with great storytelling, and it didn't seem like there were a whole lot of women doing that also had a production background in video editing and motion graphic design. So I thought, here's a niche that I can slide into and maybe stand out. And now I have a platform to do so.
Cut these clips into pieces. This is my cutting floor.
But I miscalculated in a big way. And I wanted to talk more candidly about that today and share some new lessons that have really crystallized for me in the year that followed. Because maybe there are other struggling content creators out there that have also had a thing unexpectedly take off and discovered that any kind of pivot away from that thing that did really well is now the thing that might be keeping you stuck in YouTube purgatory. How do you get stuck in YouTube purgatory? Very easily. The way it works is the algorithm is looking at your audience and their typical viewing patterns and their interests, and someone that's signing up for apples isn't here for your mixed bag of weird trail mix. So dancing in an inflatable alien costume to a 90s pop song might be sparking joy, but it is not moving the needle, because the audience that would primarily enjoy that specific flavor of weirdness is not seeing it on the menu. But the audience that is didn't sign up for that. They placed an order for something I chose not to deliver on.
No soup for you.
Now, all of this is perfectly clear in hindsight, but it's taken me a really long time to arrive at a place of acceptance about that, while also fielding the landmines of socially maladaptive types for which pointing and laughing at the struggle of others is considered not only a sport for them, but also free therapy. LOL, your videos are hardly averaging any views. 1.6 million to 1.6K, LMAO. Top tier YouTuber right here. Okay.
Well, happy birthday, Jesus. Sorry your party's so lame.
I understand the intent here was to provoke, but it's actually a very astute observation for someone that thinks weaponizing the caps lock key is devastatingly clever. But we're gonna look past the intent here because it's a good observation and actually provides a great teachable moment. Let me show you why numbers can be very deceiving on this platform. At the time of production on this video, my subscriber count is sitting at around 83,000. But if we take a little detour and dig into the analytics, we can see that of the 83,000 people that signed up for Awkward Anthems content, 78,000 of them jumped aboard on the basis of one video. That's right, 78,000 signed up for more of this one thing. And I've made well over 200 videos at this point, just so you can appreciate how crazy and a little sad that is.
Oh God, Jesus. It's funny because it's true and it's also terrible.
So it would stand to reason that if I wanted to grow, I should be repeating that over and over and over again, right? Right.
I'm not a follower.
It also comes with 10 grand.
I accept this proudly on behalf of followers everywhere.
And that is where I have come up against so much resistance. Because the reality is, as a creator, you're kind of forced to pick a lane, and then you have to stay in that lane. The algorithm is serving all of this content to people who are consistently passing on it. And that is why this number doesn't paint the full picture. From a YouTube channel growth perspective, this number doesn't matter that much. But what does matter is views, clicks, average view duration, engagement, community. Those metrics are a way more accurate indicator of the health of a channel. So every time the algorithm picks up this video and more people subscribe, it's kind of bittersweet for me because I don't think the vast majority want what I'm serving or what I have been serving. I think that's obvious just by looking at the numbers. And it's the self-perpetuating cycle of gaining new viewers who like LegalEagle, or like the work I did for LegalEagle, or were secretly hoping that LegalEagle is a trash human being and did not appreciate being bamboozled by the revelation that he's not. Like Sean here, who was hoping to get dirt thrown in his face and instead got a little sprinkle of sugar. Thoughts and prayers, Sean.
I don't need to run this license because I see you live on 1234 Happy Face Lane in Disneyland, USA.
And disclaimer here, none of this negates the fact that I am so grateful to have any audience at all. It took me 7 months to convince 192 people to subscribe to this channel, and literally 2 days to gain 20,000 more. And the difference ultimately boiled down to the power of influence. And that's been another really humbling lesson, which is that being good at this is not enough. It doesn't hurt to have polished graphics, but you can do just fine on much less. And many channels do, because they understand who they are serving and then delivering value with trending and relevant content consistently. And I am making fart jokes and dancing with 3D gingerbread men.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride for a little bit, okay?
I'm sharing this experience to let others know that if you want to succeed on this platform, the wrong approach is to throw spaghetti at the wall and hope that something sticks. Because that thing that sticks might end up being that thing that boxes you in and limits your ability to reach not just any audience, but the audience that would be best suited for your content. You don't have to be a pro at this, but you do have to be calculated and intentional about where you are putting your focus. Because long term, you'll be training the YouTube machine with a sharper signal on who you want to reach and what kind of value you want to offer. And by doing that consistently, the positive ripple effect from that signal will place you in the best position for success and real growth. If success for you means creative freedom, financial freedom, soul fulfillment, and whatever it is, it's all three for me. But you must understand that you can't be everything to everyone.
Yeah. If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
The numbers are just data points. It's information. It's telling you something. The question is, are you willing to listen? Because as long as you were trying and learning and iterating a little bit every day, you are already way ahead by virtue of the fact that you did the hard thing already. You found the courage to start. A lot of people don't even get there. It is my belief that as long as you have something of value to share, there will always be an audience to share it with. And when you find them, or they find you, you will win. Not immediately, but definitely. Just be prepared for the possibility that winning can look like a lot of bad faith on the surface, especially if you go viral. And if you ever find yourself in the middle of that very specific storm, I've got the perfect video already queued up for you. So until next time, awkward and out.